Welcome to Tuesday, the 20th day of June, 2023. Your day with the podcast being brought to you by Cowboy State Daily. Check them out at cowboystatedaily.com. Well, for many of you, yesterday was one of the warmest days of the year so far, especially east of the Divide. West of the Divide, as we mentioned yesterday, conditions were a bit different with that Pacific weather system inching eastward, but this is a great shot from Patrice here of what it looked like in a lot of front range areas of Colorado and Wyoming in the region yesterday. Lots of really blue skies. The air has dried out in those areas. Still some snow on those mountain peaks. It's making for a beautiful day in some areas. But with this Pacific system inching eastward, there's going to be more and more weather to talk about. Today is going to be similar to yesterday. Warm, breezy, sunny, east of the Continental Divide, very similar to yesterday. Like yesterday, northern areas, Montana, northern Wyoming, western Wyoming, back into the Pacific Northwest, Washington, Oregon, Idaho, into the Great Basin states. It'll be cooler with areas of showers and thunderstorms west of the Divide as this slow-moving Pacific trough just inches its way very slowly eastward. As it does so, showers and thunderstorms are going to pop up east of the Divide Wednesday and Thursday. There is going to be severe weather. I think there could be a 3-day period, maybe a 4-day period, out on the plains where we're going to be dealing with severe weather. And I mean everything you get. Heavy rain, strong winds, hail, and possibly tornado activity, as this Pacific trough is going to come in and kind of put us in a scenario where severe weather is going to be likely in many areas. This is also going to cool off areas east of the Divide. So this little mini warm-up we've had is going to be just that, mini, as temperatures are going to back down again. But temperatures will rebound a bit over the weekend, but as we'll show you, even in the longer term, there's still no real opportunity for a semi-permanent high pressure to build in just at the moment. The satellite imagery today continues to show the center of the upper level low over south central areas of Oregon. There's this axis of moisture that's still there. This is where it was yesterday, keeping clouds and shower activity in this area right here. Cold air aloft with this trough. Moisture is being brought up from the south and west into it as here as well. You can see that east of the Divide, the air is drier. That's one reason why it cleared out so well and the visibility was so good east of the Divide yesterday, is because dry, stable air is in place at the moment. But this trough right here, getting elongated, is going to start to work its way very slowly eastward. And I mean very slowly, but it's going to be a steady pace. So cold air aloft here, warm air aloft here. So you're going to have a battle zone setting up right here in the contrast of air masses here in the coming days. And this is going to unfold with cooler temperatures and increased shower and thunderstorm activity. You can really see the contrast. This is by noon today. The temperature anomaly along and east of this line is going to be warmer than average. Very warm in Texas, very warmer than normal up into the northern plains and the Corn Belt and into the Great Lakes, but it's being booked in by much cooler air masses on either side of that. And you can see how cool it is going to be today relative to average for most of the central and northern Rockies, except the front range areas along and east of I-25. West of that area, temperatures are going to be at average or below average, especially the further west you go. And this is what the rainfall is going to be like today. Basically in the same areas as yesterday, but just a little bit more east. Showers and thunderstorms along this axis here. We're also going to see some showers and thunderstorms that develop over the Dakotas. Could have some severe weather in this area here today, as we're going to have the right setup for that. So this will be an area to watch. And cool and occasionally rainy back into the Pacific Northwest. Then, as we take a look at winds aloft. Now this is for noon today. Here's the upper level over Oregon. See how strong these winds are? These are very strong jet stream winds that are going to move slowly eastward. This is one reason why there's going to be a high risk of severe weather. Strong winds aloft lead to lifting motions in the atmosphere, what we call a vertical situation where the air wants to rise vertically into the situation to where you get a lot of lift that thunderstorms can tap into. And this is where you get the severe weather with this upper level wind pattern trending more eastward. This is why the severe weather risks are going to start to increase. Now, this is where the thunderstorm pattern will be today. This is the area in the Dakotas to watch today. General thunderstorm activity elsewhere. But as that trough inches eastward, a little bit more by tomorrow, you can barely tell it's moving, but it's moving a little bit more. That area of instability gets further east, and temperatures by tomorrow, by noon tomorrow, really cool off, now spilling over east of the divide. So you can start to see temperatures are going to cool off a little bit more to the east, while the heat continues in the southern and those northern areas there. But the contrast between air masses will set off thunderstorms. So this is for tomorrow. This is where the thunderstorms will be most concentrated during the day Wednesday into Wednesday evening. The Storm Prediction Center has a large swath of yellow here where there's going to be risk for severe thunderstorm activity Wednesday afternoon and evening. The darker green and the yellow areas is where the severe weather risk is going to be the highest. This is the hail risk. So you can see there's a large area where there's going to be a fairly high risk for hail, and also tornado activity is going to be a possibility in that area as well. This is a setup coming here over the next 3 or 4 days where it's likely some of you are going to experience severe weather. Hail is a real concern. June is a month where it could really make itself known, hail can, and so this is something we're going to need to watch. Remember, this is when it's good if you have a garage. Now this is for Thursday. Thursday, you can see the thunderstorm activity is a little bit more widespread. And we're in that area there again on Thursday, same basically location. So with the slow movement of the trough, the severe weather is going to be happening in a similar location for at least 3 days in a row, Wednesday, Thursday, and probably into Friday. This is for Friday. And you can see the thunderstorm activity is generally in the same area again, and there's going to be a risk of severe weather. Precipitation does go quite a bit heavier east of the divide by then with these showers and thunderstorms. You can see that here in the southwestern United States, western and southwest Colorado, down into Arizona, New Mexico, they're just not going to get into the action there. But across to the Dakotas, Nebraska, eastern Colorado, a large part of Montana and Wyoming, you're going to see the shower and thunderstorm activity increasing, along with temperatures Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday that are going to cool off quite a bit. Now, this is for the same image. This is through Saturday morning for the lower 48, and you can see wet in the southeast, continued dry in the Corn Belt, and then this concentration of the activity continuing here across the northern plains from northern Minnesota back to Montana, then south into the southern plains. So I'm afraid to say severe weather is something that's going to be popping up starting really tomorrow and continuing into Friday. Now, by the weekend, this trough will start to head more to the east, and I think the weekend we're going to see a decrease in the thunderstorm activity, and temperatures are likely going to probably start to rebound a little bit. Now, this is by next Monday. High pressure tries to get itself established across the southern plains, but we still have a trough back here. So this is still not going to allow a really big buildup in summer heat in the west because of these troughs continuing to come in from the Pacific Northwest, beating down the high pressure ridges and really not allowing any big warm up. Have yourself a good Tuesday. We'll check in with you tomorrow and we'll have a closer look at the severe weather risk beginning on Wednesday.